Hello and welcome to Think Asset. In another 2 minutes, I am going to show you how you can file income tax return easily if you have capital gain. If you are a salaried employee and doing share trading or invested in mutual fund, you have earned money there. In income tax, this is called capital gain. If you have such a situation, first thing you have to do is, once you log into income tax site, go to AIS, which you can find at the top menu option. Open TIS or Tax Information Summary. There you will find all your income details. You can find salary, dividend, or interest earned from various sources. If you see an item, sell of securities, then you have a capital gain and you have to file ITR2 or ITR3. If you have purchase of securities, these are not required to mention in returns. If you do not have a sale of securities, only purchase of securities, then you can go ahead with ITR1. Now let's discuss ITR2 or ITR3. In simple term, I can explain, if you are doing daily trading, you should file ITR3. Else, you can go with ITR2. Now we came to schedule selection. Here, in the income section, you have to select schedule capital gains and schedule 112A if you have long-term capital gains. I will explain in some time what is long-term capital gain and what is short-term capital gain. Let's select all the schedules. Let's continue. So now let's first understand what is short-term capital gain and what is long-term capital gain. A short-term capital gain is if you have purchased and sold securities within the same financial year, it is called short-term capital gain. Means you have purchased share within 1 year and sold in the same year, then it is short-term capital gain. And long-term capital gain, if any share or securities that you have purchased 1 year before, that is called long-term capital gain. Now, if you are not sure whether the shares that you have purchased, it will come under short-term capital gain or long-term capital gain, it is very easy to know that. Go to Tax Information Summary. Here, go inside Sale of Securities. In Sale of Securities, if you will click on, it will go to SFT information in AIS. Filter all your Sale of Securities item. Go to the details and you will see that the asset type is mentioned here as long-term and short-term for each of the shares that you have purchased. Download this sheet in an Excel format or CSV format. I have downloaded that in an Excel sheet. Now these are my short-term capitals and these are my long-term capital. Now let's go back to our ITR return file. Click on Schedule Capital Gains. Here you will see two options. One is the second option. It is asking the second option. This is about the short-term capital gain shares. The third option, it is about long-term capital gain shares. Now click on Continue. Now let's fill the details on the short-term capital gain or STCG. To fill these details, click on Add Details. Section 111A. Here it comes the full value consideration. If you go back to your Excel sheet, now let's go back to our Excel sheet. Here two columns are very important. One is shell consideration and one is cost of acquisition. Shell's consideration is nothing but the value or the amount that you have sold your securities. Cost of acquisition is nothing but the value that you have purchased the securities or purchased the shares. Now add all these numbers. Our sales consideration for short-term capital gain comes 3278. And our cost of acquisition, it comes as 5004. And our long-term capital gain, the sale consideration comes as 5840. And our cost of acquisition comes as 4927. Now let's go back to our ITR. 11A is for short-term capital gain. Add the full value of consideration, means the total value of sold shares, 3278 for us, 3278. This is for short-term capital gain. Cost of acquisition, 5004. So this is a loss here, and you will see the total value is this. You can add this. Now let's go to long-term capital gain. To add long-term capital gain, you have to add this in 112A. Click on Add Details. Click on View Schedule 112A. Add Details. Here you will get two options. One is, if you have purchased the share before 31st January 2018, you have to fill all the details, ISIN or number of shares. For each share that you have purchased, you have to enter all these details. But if you have purchased the share after 31st January 2018, you are not required to fill details of each shares. Instead, you have to enter the consolidated amount here. The cost of acquisition is nothing but the total purchase value, as we have added from our Excel sheet. It is 4927. And expenditure wholly exclusively connection with transfer. If there are any other expenditure associated with this, with these long-term capital gain, you can enter here. Otherwise, leave it blank or keep it 0. Full value of consideration is nothing but the total sell value of your long-term shares. 5840. You can add these details. So now our long-term capital gain is confirmed in this section, and short-term capital gains is confirmed in scheduled capital gains. You can see the total profit and loss. Now your total income from shares are added in the capital gains. Based on the profit or loss, you have to pay the tax. Thanks for watching Think Asset. If you are interested in personal finance related topics, please subscribe to my channel.